It was hot enough to fry an egg on the hood of a Humvee that day, the kind of heat where you can feel the air pressing down on your skin, and I'd barely stepped onto the SEAL training yard when I heard a long, mocking whistle, followed by some genius yelling. "Wrong place, sweetheart. This is a man's arena." You could see the grin spreading, the way a pack smells blood in the water. Chief Harris, the guy running the yard, this big wall of a man with a smirk that could peel paint, looks me up and down and says, "You try this, you'll break a bone," like he's already writing my eulogy. The other recruits laughed. They all figured they were about to watch me crumble. Only, when he came at me, thinking he'd knock me off balance in a blink, I stepped aside, twisted his arm just enough for his shoulder to light up in pain, and before he knew it, I'd stripped his training knife from his belt. The clang of that blade hitting the Sandman. It was like somebody hit a mute button on the whole world. Nobody moved, nobody spoke, and that moment didn't just fall out of the sky. It had been brewing for days. A week before that, I was standing outside the base gates with my duffel over my shoulder, staring at the barbed wire like it was daring me to turn around. No makeup, no jewelry, hair pulled tight, just a gray tee and cargo pants. I knew exactly how I looked. The guard squinted at me like maybe I'd wandered too far from a shopping mall. "ID." He barked, like he already knew I wouldn't have one. I handed it over without a word, watched his eyes go wide at the clearance level, and then he waved me through without even trying to hide the little mutter to his buddy. "Who the hell let her in here?" I didn't flinch. I'd been underestimated my whole life. It was practically background noise. I grew up with a father who closed billion-dollar deals before most people finished breakfast, and a mother who could glide into any room and own it without raising her voice. But me? I stayed plain, kept my nails short, my voice quieter, my profile low. People looked at me and saw fragile, harmless. They never saw the years of martial arts since I was 6, or the fact my family's money could buy the very ground they were standing on. And that was fine. It's easier to surprise someone when they've already written you off. Walking to the barracks, a Jeep slows down beside me, officer behind the wheel. Uniform so crisp it looked vacuum sealed, hair slicked like a salesman. "Hey," he calls out, "you're in the wrong place. Civilians don't just wander around here." I kept walking, looked him in the eye just long enough to say, "I'm where I'm supposed to be," and kept moving. I could feel him gripping that steering wheel tighter. By Thursday, I'm standing at the edge of the yard, sun beating down like it's personal. I start stretching, and that's when the peanut gallery really wakes up. Tall guy with frat boy energy yells out, "Lost?" "Admin's that way." His crew laughs like it's the funniest thing they've ever heard. Jenna, perfect ponytail, manicured nails, the kind of recruit who'd flirt her way up the ranks, struts over and tells me, "Honey, this is SEAL training, not some beginner gym class." Then looks me up and down and asks if I borrowed my uniform from the laundry bin. I just told her, gets the job done, and went back to stretching. Mike, short guy with a chipped tooth and fake nice voice, says I'm gonna get hurt. Travis, loud as a foghorn, shouts about me braiding their hair. Even a couple instructors smirk. I started working the sandbag steady, clean punches, feet planted, and slowly their laughter dipped. Not stopped, but dipped. Then Sergeant Porter walks up, scar down his cheek, combat eyes. Tells me I'm wasting space and should leave before they have to carry me out. I didn't even pause. "I'll stay," I said and kept going. Then Harris steps up, claps his hands so hard the yard goes quiet. "Anyone who thinks they're tough enough, step in with me." Guys start hooting, not even considering me. So I walk forward. Dead quiet for half a second, then the laughter comes in waves. Harris looks down at me, says, 30 seconds, and you're out. He lunges first, grabs my shoulder, spins me hard, dust flying. The crowd's loving it. He even brushes his hand across my cheek like he's shooing a fly. Some young kid in the back yells, "Don't go easy just 'cause she's a girl." And that just fires them all up more. Harris goes for a joint lock, but I pivot, use his weight, and freeze him in place. "Shall we continue?" I ask. Nervous laughter this time. Next round, he tries to get my neck, but I slip free, sweep his arm aside, pull his knife, and drop it at his feet. Weapons shouldn't be left so exposed, I tell him. That clang hits the air, and it's like the sound swallowed every word anyone was about to say. Rachel, the gossip queen with a clipboard, scoffs about me practicing one move for weeks. I glance at her and say, "One move's enough." She goes red. They start chanting for me to do it again like I'm a circus act, but before it can build, Harris gets called over by Walsh, the commander's aide. I catch a familiar crest on the paper he hands over. Harris's face tightens, and when he comes at me again, harder this time, I throw him flat on his back. The colonel watching from the fence smiles, just enough to make it count. Things changed after that. Derek, the loudmouth, got his training contract yanked overnight. Mike's little sponsorship deal tanked after a video of his comments leaked. Travis found himself suddenly friendless. Porter stopped trying to run me off. Grayson, one of the older instructors, handed me a worn leather journal one morning and said, "Not many could have pulled that off." Then one afternoon, I'm in the shed cleaning rifles when the door opens. A man steps in civilian clothes, but the way he moves has every recruit outside suddenly shutting up. He walks over, puts a hand on my shoulder, nods. I nod back. My husband. Nobody needed an introduction, they all knew. We walked out together, past a yard full of people who suddenly had nothing smart to say. Some got reassigned, some learned to keep their mouths shut. My name became a quiet warning. Don't underestimate the quiet ones. I left soon after, but you could feel it lingering, straighter backs, softer voices, longer pauses before people judged. Years back, my dad handed me a worn book on discipline and said, "You don't need to be loud to be strong." I believed him then. I believe him now. On my last day, a small recruit named Sarah caught me at the gate, said she wanted to be like that, not afraid. I handed her a folded training schedule and told her, "Start here." She whispered, "Thank you." I walked out without looking back, the gate clanging shut, the sun setting, shadows stretching long across the gravel. And that's the thing, you don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to fight to win sometimes, just standing your ground is enough. But maybe you don't see it that way, maybe you think I should have handled it differently, or not at all. So tell me, what do you think? Was I right to let my actions do the talking, or would you have gone another way?